Hello everyone, my name is Cale Anderson. I'm a master's student in exercise science, and I did a throwing study on the American overhand football throw, or the quarterback pass. And the reason I was interested in this is because of, if everyone remembers, Tim Tebow, and he had a very poor throwing motion. And from everything I've ever seen in the media and from coaches is that they say you can't change a throwing motion, but I believe that to be inaccurate. And simply because you can change your motion in golf, you can change your motion in track, you can change your motion in any other sport except for football, which they say is the most complex movement in all of sports. And also with that, when I started doing research for this thesis to see what's out there, there's been very little, if anything, done on quarterback throws and what it all entails. So for this project, what I decided to do was 2 different tests. The one test doing just a normal 3-step drop and throwing to a target, because in practice most times what you see is a quarterback will do his 3-step drop, 5-step drop, 7-step drop, and throwing to a wide receiver usually that's uncovered, which is very different than what they ever see in the game. Then the second part of the study is going to be throwing tennis balls at the subjects as pass rushers. So they'll be doing their 3-step drop, and then they'll having to avoid tennis balls and then throwing to the targets and trying to hit the targets. As you see to my right here, targets. The targets are 6 feet tall by 6 feet wide, and the reason, so there's 3 different targets, and the reason I chose 6 feet tall by 6 feet wide is because usually a wide receiver, if it's within it in arm's reach, they should be able to catch the ball, especially in one-on-one coverage. I chose 3 targets, so what I chose was the first and shortest one being like a 10-yard out, the middle one being a dig route over the middle at 20 yards, and then the farthest one being a 30-yard corner route. And we're just going to see how accurate people are without stress and then with stress, and then see where everything goes from there. So this is a pilot study, and I hope that when I go on for my doctorate to expand on this study with quarterbacks. Thank you very much, and I hope you all enjoyed this. So, everyone ready?
Yeah.
So, 1, 2, 5.
1, 2, 5.
Hello, I'm Mel Hamilton. I am a sports science undergraduate major here at Northern Michigan University, and I am assisting on the project, and I'm collecting acceleration data of the throw. I'm using my accelerometers, and this is a right-handed one and a left-handed one, and they are used to measure the acceleration. As I stated before, we use this this pad to collect the data. So when the participant starts the throw, I press start, and when they finish their throw, I press stop. In between each throw, I press reset, and this will collect all the data for the 15 throws that each participant throws to the 3 different targets. And then I take out the USB and I plug it into the computer, and then I use this Rehab Watch software. I save it, and then I download it onto an Excel spreadsheet, and from there we can determine the forearm acceleration. This is the peak acceleration of the arm going like such, and then this is the peak acceleration or the acceleration of the wrist, so when after they have rotated and followed through. And that is what I am helping with on this study. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Darren Bassano, and I'm helping Cale with his quarterback throwing project. What I'm mainly focused on is EMG, and what EMG is the looking at what kind of muscle activation goes on during different movements. So what we have is these electrodes that are placed on the subject's body, and they send information from the electrode to this data logger here, and then the data logger sends its data to the computer. And what we have is here a flat line showing that there's no movement, there's no muscle activity going on, and then we hit some peaks when the muscle is activated, then it goes back down when the muscle stops. When we do our project, we have 8 different spots on the body, and those spots are the forearm, the biceps, the triceps, the calf, the quad, the hamstring, and the oblique. And what we're looking at is to see what kind of muscle activation is going on when the quarterbacks are throwing at different targets.
Everyone ready?